We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Matt, which category would you like?
World news, please.
OK, world news it is. The answer is petrol, money and drugs. What is the question?
What will the motto be for the Qatar World Cup? No, just in English.
Yes, the question I was looking for is what items are at risk of running out in Greece after Sunday's crucial vote on the EU's bailout terms. This is news as 61% of the Greek population voted against accepting the strict austerity measures proposed by the EU. There's now a real risk that the country will run out of money, fuel and medicine. So what does it all mean for Greece?
It's ridiculous now. The whole thing is just going on. It is like a soap opera. And I don't watch the Eurozone crisis now day to day. I wait till Sunday and I watch the Omnibus edition.
This thing of just referring to the Greek exit as Grexit, it just is like, are you in that much of a hurry that you couldn't say a third syllable?
If the British exit happens, it's going to be called Brexit. It sounds like a cheap form of Lego, or what the Greek Prime Minister does every time he meets Angela Merkel.
Let's kick off with a round called Inside the Mind of. With the G8 conference fast approaching, we clamber inside the mind of the American president. Can anyone tell me what the voices inside George W. Bush's head might be saying?
Are they saying, if you step on the cracks in the pavement, George, we have to invade Syria?
Unlikely film trailers.
Harrison Ford is 73 and he's back in Indiana Jones and the tricky patch of ice outside the post office.
We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what's going on here?
Is it the only couple that Ed Balls would beat on Strictly?
He's saying, please join me, Owen, on my cabinet. I'm so lonely.
I imagine Jeremy Corbyn's just going, I did warn you, Owen. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine.
He's incredible in that he can gather so many people together in a rally and they sort of
Absolutely.
see him as a messiah in the same way he will probably be crucified in the next election.
Chancellor George Osborne, I heard of the Conservative Party conference this week. A recent survey has put him well ahead of his rivals to succeed David Cameron as the party leader. It's exciting to know that this has already started.
Yeah.
Party leader election, which will take place in 2019. And there's already polls about who's going to be taking over.
Well, I hope it's not him, actually. I hope it's Boris. Because if Boris gets in and Corbyn's in, you can forget about politics altogether, don't have an election, have no election at all, and just settle it all with a bicycle race.
Your category is politics. The answer is 4%. What is the question?
Is it? What are the chances of Johnny Depp appearing on the next series of Mr. and Mrs?
Is it how much of the old Top Gear audience has Chris Evans held on to?
Including that.
Is it by 2017, what proportion of celebrities will still be alive?
I know. Ooh, we're not the one killing them. Here's a picture of Leader of the Opposition, David Cameron. But what does TLEC stand for?
Is it Tories launch exfoliating cream? Where would you put it?
Or is it the Top Man launch Eton collection? Or is it just simply Tosser leading everyone to catastrophe?
Are you not a natural Tory?
Commercials that never made it to air.
To qualify for second meerkat toy, Alexander has invaded Ukraine.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. Subject is health. Andy Parsons.
With flu jabs now, what they do, don't they, is they put a little bit of flu into you to help you combat the flu. I was thinking by that argument, surely you should be able to have the odd cake to help you fight obesity. Because let's face it, you can do too much exercise, can't you? You know, did you see Madonna's arms? They didn't look right, did they? It was like half human, half Terminator. Of course, that's the problem when you're always picking up small African children going, no, no, no.
Thank you very much, Andy. What did David Cameron announce on Father's Day?
He announced that he wanted people to stigmatise runaway fathers in the same way that we stigmatise drunk drivers.
Yes. It was an unfair attack by David Cameron, really. I mean, he just stigmatised the whole group. Just because you father a child out of wedlock, you run away, take no responsibility for that child and never see them, does not mean that you're not Mayor of London.
This is a picture of the victorious German football team celebrating their World Cup win in the dressing room with Chancellor Angela Merkel. Germany defeated Argentina in the final by a single goal from Mario Götze in extra time, becoming the first European team ever to win a World Cup in South America. Were you shouting for anyone or not for anyone? Or
most English people were shouting for Germany, which is a first, really, isn't it?
I didn't mind who won. I just, it was a good game, but I found it very difficult just watching as an England fan because it all goes on so wrong for England. And I bet if you're watching in 4 years' time on Dave, we're still shit, aren't we?
I could never support the Argentinians, not after what Maradona did, Wembley 2003. He didn't sing Material Girl.
The one I love, the guy I love being there was Putin, because he was there because they're hosting the next one, isn't it?
Yes.
And every country that hosts it is desperate to win. And he must have been looking at that final thinking, the only way that Russia are going to win is if we invade Germany.
Putin sitting next to Blatter was the finest photograph in the history of democracy. How do you win your elections? Oh, I never run against anyone. Me neither. High five! High five!
The death of Brazilian football. That's what they'd witnessed.
Oh, yeah.
Not funny, but
that was
interesting.
Well, you say that. It was kind of funny. There was, because a few weeks ago I was talking about the head, you know, the way they were overemphasising the pretty women in the crowd type shots all the time. And I said, and I on the show called for more shots of children crying. Yeah. And then when they posted, there's that one of a small boy just blubbing his eye, and he's pushing his glasses out of his face, and he's got a Coca-Cola can, which is beautiful branding, absolutely spectacular branding, and he's weeping into it. And I got sent that image 4,000 or 5,000 times on Twitter in the minute after it was posted with the words "Happy now." Yes, I was. I went through it. Welcome. Which category would you like?
Home news.
Home news it is. The category is home news. The answer is 12 days. What is the question?
How long is Andy Murray gonna party after his won Wimbledon?
We'd like to believe so.
Is Andy Murray stupidly about to post his gold medals?
Where's Andy Murray?
Andy Murray is in Dunblane in Scotland. This is his homecoming after winning the US Open, which was a surprise to me, as I had no idea he played golf.
Andy Murray, a man who actually came along to our studios, didn't he?
Yes, indeed he did.
Came along after he'd lost Wimbledon.
Yep.
And then after we'd all taken the piss out of him, he went off and he won the Olympics and he won the US Open.
Yes.
I think all sports people who are struggling should come into the audience of the show. Let's get Paula Radcliffe, Philip Sidowu, Nick Clegg. It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
I think if I was opening a Pizza Express, I'd open it next to a Vision Express, so we got some of their customers by mistake.
We start with a round called Headliners. Here's a picture of the spectacular opening to the Olympic Games. But what does BGMC stand for?
Is it British Gas Managers Celebrate?
The answer is 1,000,000%. What is the question?
Is it, what is the blood alcohol content of Amy Winehouse?
We're wearing the same thing. How terribly embarrassing. I didn't know you had a kilt. Well, we didn't have a kilt. It was the inquest. Oh, look, someone's been sick. Has Harry been in? There is your luggage, Your Highness. Oh, good. That's my cheese for the journey. Don't want to keep anyone waiting. Wish my mother felt the same.
Unlikely things to hear in a TV election debate.
I think of this studio as a second home, which is why I'm claiming expenses for it.
My girlfriend and I love watching box sets. We got 3 episodes into Orange is the New Black before finding out it wasn't about what would happen if Trump replaced Obama.
Thank you very much. Well done. Point in that round. Going to go to 80. Come back.